You're listening to POV, the Portland Ovations podcast. I'm your host, Galen Koch. On a chilly October evening in Portland, Maine, I sat in the audience at Space at the world premiere of Sara Juli's one-woman show, Burnt Out Wife.
With this ring, I take thee.
The show is intimate, and the subject matter, Sara Juli's own marriage, is deeply personal.
From this date forward, how's it go? Through thick and thin. Through sickness and health.
The idea with all of these pieces is that they are topics that are bothering me so much that they become there's a trigger where it's like, oh, Sara, got to make a dance about it.
Sara's performances are poignant, hilarious, and guttural. Watching Sara Juli perform, the gestural movement, the stand-up comedy, the singing, yes, there is a song, all of the elements add up to something that can be called an experience, a performance art piece, a dance.
I'm a dancer, and I've been a dancer since I was 3. I'm a choreographer. My approach is totally from a spatial choreographic perspective. I don't go in and start with a script and write a script. I go into an empty space and I fill it with movement. And yes, I speak at the same time, and I do shape that and craft that as well. But everything originates from a movement-based process. So to me, it's a dance. However, sometimes on the outside, some people are like, well, it doesn't look like a dance. And I often want to challenge presenters and audience to say, well, this is a dancer who thinks she made a dance. So can you expand your view of what a dance is to look at it as such?
The world premiere of Burnt Out Wife was a co-commission and co-presentation of Portland Ovations and Space, and kicked off Portland Ovations' Raise the Bar, an initiative to provide more access to contemporary dance to the Portland community through unique programming, masterclasses, workshops, artist events, and commissioning new work, like Sara Juli's show. Here's Amy Petrin, Executive and Artistic Director of Portland Ovations.
It's part of an ongoing trajectory that just basically is showing or illustrating our commitment to the form by saying it's not just what already exists, but we want to make sure that more dance is being created at all times. We had already had a long-standing relationship with Sara, and when I asked her about if there was a way for Ovations to be part of supporting the new work, Burnt Out Wife, she shared that Space was already in progress. They already had a project going, and it was really wonderful because Space said, sure, come along. Ovations can join us. So it really became a joint collaboration with Space to make sure that Sara had the best world premiere possible.
The world premiere at Space was a celebration of Portland and the greater state of Maine's unique dance community, a celebration of the start of an exciting Ovations season of Raise the Bar, and a celebration of the many collaborators and artists who helped bring Burnt Out Wife to the stage. From costumes to set design to the graphics on t-shirts and programs, the show was built by Maine artists. Here's Sara Juli.
I think it's really important to invest in the community where you live. So I knew this show was going to be my biggest production value to date, and this for me is my biggest show I've ever done. And so I knew I wanted and needed a team, and I just felt really strongly that had to be local. One is logistically, we were building something from scratch, so I wanted to be able to access everyone. But then I'm also really interested in, there's so much talent here locally, and I'm just really interested in those voices around the table.
That local talent was on full display at the premiere of Burnt Out Wife. Here's Kelsey Johnson, Executive Director of Space.
I think that it's really important that we have artists like Sara who are really interested in coalition building in their works. And she, the piece is advertised as an evening-length solo, but it's actually much more than that with all of the collaborators that she brings on board. She's got lighting designers, sound folks, costume designers, and this was the first piece that she worked with the dramaturge. And so I always think that a healthy way for people to access work is also through personal connections to it. And so I think more than just being one artist, the fact that there's all of these artists that were in our community together brought a lot of awareness to the piece from people that were in the visual arts world or the fashion world.
Burnt Out Wife showcased the experimentation, creativity, and explorations happening in Portland's dance community, and the spirit of collaboration that is alive within the city's arts community. In many ways, Burnt Out Wife is a surprise. What do you expect when you go to a dance performance? Maybe you don't expect to laugh, to be moved, to relate. But the audience at Burnt Out Wife laughed and gasped and shed tears. Francesca Galluccio Steele was in the audience for the world premiere. She and her husband, Phil Steele, are enthusiastic supporters of Ovations' Raise the Bar initiative and of Portland's dance community.
It was wonderful because it's not your classic definition of dance, and so it really, I think, broadened Portland's experience with dance. But we were saying certainly she made the audience laugh, the performance made the audience laugh, but it was also, for me, what was different about it, for me, typically a dance experience is pretty much a visual experience, and hers was also a gut experience in terms of addressing or speaking to one's own emotions.
This is what Portland Ovations initiative Raise the Bar brings to Maine. An opportunity for dancers to create and for us to see new works, experience dance in our own community, and to understand and relate to dance in a new way. You might laugh or cry or be inspired. Here's Francesca's husband, Phil Steele.
Dance is the most ephemeral of all of the arts. There's no product per se. And one of the things, it's never the same. And one of the things that you learn is that, no performance will ever be exactly alike. And that, I find that really interesting. It's amazing, the art form, the athleticism, the physical demands, the music, the lighting, the costumes. I find it really cool to watch that, and Raising the Bar is all about deepening the audience's understanding and appreciation for that one night right there. And the hope is that having had a really in-depth and enjoyable experience, they'll want to come back to the next one.
To experience dance, you truly have to gather, to join others in that seat as part of an audience. The audience at Burnt Out Wife participated in a version of Sara's performance that will never be exactly like any to come. Through Raise the Bar, Portland Ovations will continue to support Maine's dance community, new contemporary dance, and offer unique programming that invites everyone to join, gather, and discover contemporary dance. Still to come in this year alone, Momix, Malpaso Dance Company from Cuba, and the Russian National Ballet. See you in the audience. You've been listening to POV, the Portland Ovations podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes this coming season as we dive into Ovations' point of view, exploring what this almost 90-year-old nonprofit arts organization's performances and community engagement events mean for the city of Portland and the state of Maine. Our culture, our economies, our lives. Thanks for listening.